Hi, my name is Dave Blass. I'm the production designer on Justified, and I'm going to give you a 5-cent tour of the Disney Ranch and the Green Valley locations that are our main locations for this season of Justified. So get ready, let's go.
Rolling.
And action, Joe.
Going into season 2, I actually took a trip down to Harlan County to do research on the project to get to really see what the homes are like, what the people like. I was brought in after the pilot and a lot of the first season had been done to design the show. So going into season 2, I knew I really had to do my homework and find out what Kentucky is all about. So one of the advantages of shooting here at the Disney Ranch is we're able to shoot multiple locations in the same kind of confined environment. The main thing is we have a giant carnival of people, if you will, who have to move around from one location to another. So working at a ranch like the Disney Ranch here allows us to get a lot of different locations in one area. So we end up riding around in shuttles all day long, going from location to location or location. This is the Bullettville cabin that you saw in the finale of last season. And then the first part of this season picks up where the last season left off.
Where's your boyfriend?
Which one?
So let's go inside the Bullettville cabin. These were all windows that were blown out in the last episode during the last shootout. All this has been replaced. This is all plexiglass, so that no one gets hurt. This was supposed to be something that looks like it was a hunting shed that people would visit every couple of weeks or something like that. Later on, when Boyd and Ava come back here and they use this as kind of a hideout, we bring in a couple more elements, and it kind of brings the whole story back around to where they were the last time they were here, where there was a shootout, and now we're back at the end of the episode and they're actually a couple now. So it's a unique dynamic. When I get the scripts, I'm always looking 3 episodes ahead as to what we might be shooting later. So we're here shooting at the Bullettville cabin in episode 9 or 10, and I read a script that says later on Dickie will have a hideout where he's hiding out in a woods, in a cabin in the woods is supposed to be remote. And I have to sit there and go, I wonder where I would shoot this. Is there any place possible? And then I go, oh, there's a cabin in the woods. Let's go look at it. So this is what will become Dickie's hideout. And we walked in, and this place had not been used, shot in, or looked at for probably the last 15 years, which was good for our purposes because we wanted it to look like a rustic old place. And rustic and old it was. There was 6 inches of dirt on the ground and leaves and animal stuff everywhere. So all that was cleaned out, and this was turned into a cabin. And this was an amazing, brilliant set that my decorator, Sean Aronson, created that we never saw because we did the whole entire scene outside. But if you watch the episode and you see the cabin, just imagine that the inside is amazing. At the moment, the roof is covered by black plastic because when we shot here the other night, it was pouring rain. This little stream had turned into a raging river that we had to build a bridge over even just to get here. And we ended up having to shoot this several times because we shot one night and it rained, we shot another night, it didn't rain, so we kind of had to come back a third night and shoot it all over again. But it looked brilliant in the end. So here we are at Ava's house, and the astute viewer of Justified will notice that this kind of looks a little bit different from the Ava's house you might have seen in the first episode or the pilot from last season. The reason for that is the pilot was shot in Pittsburgh, and here we are in sunny Southern California. So it was going to be a little bit expensive to move that house from Pittsburgh to California and or to rebuild it. So we did the next best thing is to find a house that kind of looks like it that will work for us for this purpose. So we looked for something that has similar architecture, the porch, the windows, and then most importantly, the inside of the house so that it kind of has a similar feel. So for all you people watching this, yes, it's a different house, but shh, don't tell anyone. While we can't replicate the exact house that we shot in Pittsburgh, what we can do is replicate elements of what we saw in Pittsburgh. We copied the same wallpaper, the same colors. A lot of it is just kind of capturing the feel of what we saw before. So this is Ava's kitchen. It's a mess because it was just shot up in the finale of the season. Candy glass. So I can take this glass and smash it in my hand and I don't get hurt. So this is what we cover all the windows with.
Rehearsing?
And right now they're shooting the final scene of Justified in the other room. Will Ava live? Will Ava not live? I don't even know, and I'm the production designer. So we got a little bit of driving to do up here, but the Disney Ranch, I feel like a tour guide here. Ding, ding. The Disney Ranch has been around for quite a while now, but this Walt Disney used to live up here and come out here and ride horses, shoot things. And the cabin that the house we're using for Messer's house and the interior of Mag's house, Clark Gable, I was told yesterday, had come out, and that's the house that he would stay when he came out to visit with Walt Disney. But of course, it was probably a lot nicer than it is now. So here we are at the exterior of Messer's house, and this is again the finale of the show. This is a location also on the Disney Ranch, and the unique thing that we have going on here is the outside of what you see here is the Messer's house property, but inside this house we've actually built the interior of Mag's house. One of the great things about people of specifically Harlan and any of the Appalachian type of people is they have a lot of stuff, and a lot of it is usually big heavy stuff, but it's not just crap in someone's front yard. There's usually a system and a design to what they do. A lot of times what we have is some old cast iron bathtubs. And if you don't know what you're looking at, it looks like a piece of crap cast iron bathtub shoved in someone's front yard. But in reality what it is they use those as planters because the gophers can't get at their plants. And that's one of the things that we try and create with this show is we kind of get into the culture and get into the design of what the people live in. So it's not just showing up with 5 truckloads of stuff and then throwing it in someone's front yard. We try and add as much design and make the set feel as lived in as possible. So here we are in Mag's parlor, or actually what we're calling Mag's living room. A little detail that we brought into the show is that, of course, this is Mag's Bennett's house, but here is a photo of Mag's, which you probably will never see in the show, but there's Mag's in her family portrait, which, as it turns out, is actually my family portrait. This is my great-great-grandmother and her sister, and these are photos that I took while in Harlan. It's one of those things that you never know when they start shooting a show. It says they're playing in the scene, but they may end up having Mag sitting there looking at her picture or doing something. But these are the little details that we bring to the show. You have those moments where you're designing something and picking colors, wallpaper, and decorations and everything, and you're like, did I get it right? You're making quick decisions on a short budget.
Hey, Boyd.
Carol?
What are you doing here?
On the colors and the way that the woods went with the wallpaper that I picked, and I was like, wow, that looks really good. And there's moments like that that are really great. I think that set for me is one of the favorite sets of this season, and the fact that it was a literally rat-infested, a horrible place, 5 days before, and then turns into one of my favorite sets is always a great thrill to do that.
Raylan Givens.
For this season, the main thing we were trying to do is really give the show a better look. I thought we did an amazing job last season, but with anything, you can always do better. And the first thing we did was we knew that we had to find better locations. We had to find something that felt more like Kentucky. And what we do is we drive around all around Southern California trying to find areas that really work for us. And in this instance, we found this area called Green Valley, which has beautiful green mountains. It has all these little holler type of areas with streams and great foliage and houses with tons of character. And we knew that was a great spot. So producer Don Kurt was really instrumental in finding that.
It's a place in Southern California that's green. And green all year round, basically, up there. It doesn't get too dry and too brown.
One more rehearsal, guys.
He gets sidetracked a lot.
It's a rural community, and it's a community of collectors and, sort of eclectic people. Very, very nice people. Very, very warm, kind, helpful. On all the shows that I work on, I love the environment to play a character in the show.
So what would be great, Joseph, is if you...
This year in Green Valley, I felt we've accomplished that. We made a character out of that place, and it fits the Bennett family perfectly.
This is the backyard of Mag's house. You see this extensively in episode 9, where we have the big party for the Black Pike Coal meeting. This is the front of Mag's house. This is one of the great examples of find just the right place. All the detail, the barn, the horse area, all this was here when we came in, and it was just a matter of driving around and going, okay, that's the place we want to be. That's where Mags should live. And we knew that in the first episode that if we went inside that we would be able to build it or go somewhere else. So that's why when you see the house, you don't really get a sense of how far back it is or how big the house actually is. It just looks like kind of that it would be a big house, but in reality it's a one-room, little teeny tiny house. Here we are at the Bennett Country Store. This was the first set that we designed for the new season of Justified. Beautiful green mountains, even when we started the show, which is at the end of summer, where everywhere else in all of Southern California was all brown, Green Valley was green. So great name, and we stuck with it. We found a little hardware store sitting on a hill where we are now, and it was pretty dilapidated. This whole facade that you see in front of you, all the awnings, the Bennett Country Store logo, the original building was only 10 feet tall, so you can see the side there. So we added all this on, painted on the signs and everything, and then just kind of really made it look like more of a country store. As you can see now, we've progressed in the season where the Bennetts have become outcasts in their own town, and the graffiti has been added to the building and whatnot. The interesting thing about that is that here in Green Valley, everyone thought that this was done by local vandals, and that the owner of the hardware store was getting vandalized, thinking he's selling out because he's working with film companies. But in reality, we had to tell them all, it's like, no, this is all part of the story, all part of the story. So in the first episode, we had a reference to an ATV company. So luckily, our friend here, Mortimer, actually had ATVs and a garage right next door. So that really was a bonus for this location. So we saw all of this and we're like, okay, we found our home for this season of Justified. Let's go inside to the Bennett Country Store. At this point in our story, we're shooting tonight the final episode here. So the Bennetts have been kicked out of town, or they're getting kicked out of town. So the store is near empty and they're packing up and going their way. So one of the things that I do, and working with the locations people, is find cool locations like this that, you know, have objects and have design elements like this. And it's like, oh wow, I love that stove. It's like a lot of times we end up bringing it in. A lot of times we just find a really great location and add to it. So this was one where we built the great outside and then kind of added to the inside. Okay, here we are at the coal mine for the season 2 of Justified, and you may think that we're actually in a coal mining area, but really we're still in Southern California, and this is our mine. The coal mine set was, for me, the biggest challenge because it was something that I was unfamiliar with, and going into the season, it wasn't something that I knew that we were going to be doing. So when I was down at Harlan, I didn't have the chance to go tour coal mines and get all that research. What does a coal mine look like? And there's no one set look for it. You know, they're against mountains, you go inside. Some of them, you go into a building and then you get out. And so I had seen one particular photo that really, for me, struck me because it had this curved metal structure that I had seen. I'm like, where have I seen that before? And then I realized I had seen it where we were parking our trucks, and it was right across the street from the location in Green Valley. So I took that idea and ran with it, and then designed it off of that with some concrete walls that I knew our visual effects people could extend up and mesh with a mountain wall that would really give the illusion of being up against this mountain, which in fact doesn't exist at all. We're actually in someone's parking lot. Though it looks like nice solid concrete, it's really much like the candy glass, very fragile and breakable. So there you go. So this wouldn't hold back a mountain, but it looks cool. It's quite often we'd have a shot where Boyd or someone would be walking and they'd have to walk this way, but of course we couldn't show that, you know, there's a house across the street or we're in a neighborhood. So what we do is he'd turn, and that's right where we would put you know, one of these big standing signs or a truck or something, so that way we create our whole mine setup. The main thing with the back, what we would do is we would just have it go to black, and it's kind of like the clowns in the car idea. You just see people keep coming, walking out and walking out. The illusion is really sold with the idea of the mine cart coming, riding out. What's known as a man trip, a actual mining vehicle that you would drive into a coal mine. No go. Lights are on? Just because I can design it doesn't mean I can drive it. This is Johnny Crowder's house. And we've established this in an early episode, and in this episode, we're gonna blow it to shit. So these are all propane mortars. They fill up a can with propane, and then they shoot debris and propane out the windows. So when you have the explosion, you get the fire and all the kind of debris that goes with it. So, and then all the windows are all rigged to be made out of balsa wood, and what's known as candy glass or breakaway glass, fabricated glass that you can basically shoot and it will break very easily and also won't cut people with the debris and anything that goes flying. But this set was actually used in the very first episode of the season, where MacReady is poisoned by Mags. Happened right here.
Does taste like apple pie.
It does, doesn't it?
So we've taken this, what was MacReady's house, and repurposed it and turned it into Johnny's house. So don't let anyone tell you that we don't recycle in Hollywood. I told them it's gonna blow up big time. But bigger than they expect. So basically, the mortars are rigged with propane, and propane is a gas that burns very, very bright, makes a big explosion, but dissipates really quickly. So it's, as opposed to a gasoline explosion where you actually have flame and heat, the propane doesn't burn very hot.
Okay, yeah, that's plenty. Just a little of it.
So the building itself will not incur much damage. So it's, and you won't catch a lot of fire. It's basically a big whoosh with the, and then the debris that comes out the mortars, and then you get the look of a big explosion. And also the ceiling tiles, the tin ceiling roofs, are rigged with a little bit of explosives to send them flying. So it looks like we blew up the entire building, but in reality, the building stays the same. So right now we got 3 cameras going on. We have a camera up on a piece of scaffolding there, getting a big high and wide shot. We have a camera in the back of the truck, shooting through the front windshield of the truck. The front windshield of the truck is rigged to explode. And then we have another camera low out here, which will shoot directly in the front door of the house. So there should be a giant fireball coming straight out the front door, and basically a giant kaboom with debris, glass, fireball. The special effects guys have put in a little extra something, so it should be quite good. A lot of times last season we did some stuff digitally, which all of us production people really hate doing, because you know, it's one of the joys of this business is literally coming to work and getting to blow stuff up. Plus, it looks better no matter how good our digital effects guys are, and they're really good on this show. Doing it reel for reel is always a better way to do it. So, very excited. Let's blow some shit up. Our friends in special effects, Dennis Dion and his boys, did a wonderful, amazing job blowing it up. And obviously, it's a stunt, it's an effect, so it went a little bit, a little bit bigger than we had, and we had a little bit damage to the structure, but which that was all understood. So our guys were over there, rebuilding the structure. Then by the end of the week, it'll look like it did, when we got there before. But I think that the technology is great. I think the visual effects are great, but there's no substitute to actually getting to blow real shit up. I mean, it looks better, it's better, and it's just so much more fun. I'd like to give a shout out on this one to my wonderful decorator, Shauna Aronson, and my wonderful art director, Gina Cranham, Melody Harrop, and the rest of my art department crew. Everyone on the show, from construction to props, everyone has done an amazing job. So I'm just gonna sign off on that and say thank you guys, and thanks for watching.